So our city is spoiling the homeless. An unsheltered woman in San Diego making a shocking and blunt admission about what life is like on the streets there.
To be homeless in San Diego is actually not that hard because usually we're low income, and when you're low income, you get free phones, free food, free clothing.
I think we're spoiled, to be honest with you.
My friend.
There's been an alarming surge in San Diego's homeless population. More than 2,000 people are living on the streets in tents and encampments, and it's gotten so bad that the city council there banned homeless encampments in public places. Dana.
Gosh, how generous of them.
San Diego, very near and dear.
Yeah, so Peter and I lived in San Diego for 3 years. We did love our time there. We have good friends from there, but I'm really glad we left. Because the citizens there, the taxpayers, have a terrible return on investment. And I do wonder, in the Constitution, in the Declaration of Independence, it talks about the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, what happens to the citizens, the tax-paying citizens, about our pursuit of happiness? Had a situation today, all I was doing was walking to work, and this guy tries to run me off the sidewalk, yelling, no, 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 with his big cart. And I just jumped out of the way, but I had to jump into the street where all those crazy bikers are. And I thought, after the Daniel Penny situation, when he's indicted for manslaughter after this situation with Jordan Neely on the subway, I'm like, who would help me? And no, New Yorkers are awesome, and there'd probably be somebody that would do that. But the incentive to help others protect one another from these people. And the authorities know who they are, and they're just throwing so much money at the problem. And I think that, especially, remember the money that de Blasio gave to his wife and was supposed to help solve the problem. As soon as they left, there was an audit done, and $850 million just went missing. Nobody has any idea where it went. So a lot of these homeless services that are getting a lot of money, more and more money, it's not working. The solution is in listening to the homeless, like the woman who says, we are spoiled, we need tough love, or we're never going to get off the street.
Greg, what do you think about that approach?
I agree with everything the little lady says, and I'm sorry about the cart. There's this assumption on the part of the feelers, like Jessica and Jesse's mother, that the unfeelers, that is me and Jesse, we don't consider the empathetic stance. We have, actually. That's the first rung of the ladder. We're just on the fifth or sixth rung of the ladder. We've been through the empathy part. We're now in the different stage, and we want everybody else to join us because it's been an uphill battle dealing with this issue when you live in the city, and that's because the empathy class has made the homeless a protected class. If you designate an offender, whether it is a criminal or a drug addict or a homeless person, as a member of the protected class, if you complain about it, people will paint you as heartless. They will say bad things about you, and you don't want bad things said about you, so you never say anything about it. Jesse, your mother made this condemned your observation. You said that homelessness was a choice. And she said, don't be cruel. Well, what is the big picture? What is causing this? Homelessness is not based on the lack of affordable housing. That would be like saying illegal immigration is based on a lack of places to live. That's not the way it is. It's where you prefer to go. The media cherry picks stories of the homeless that make it feel like it's, families and it's veterans. That may be a tiny, tiny part of this problem. We could solve that instantly. It's mostly young to middle-aged dudes who settle into the life because it's not really that bad. Hobos on heroin. I mean, think about it. You don't pay any bills. You got no mortgage. You get free stuff. I've been thinking about it. But, I like clean bathrooms.
So as a feeling person, and I think maybe the only one on the table, I did not like what you just said, Greg. And Emily, so there was a woman.
Jesse's text from his mother.
There's a woman named Mary Monroe who runs a homeless veterans organization in San Diego who actually went out to talk to the community. And she's put forward a plan to deal with this, which I thought seemed so smart, and basically to designate people by why they are homeless, to start with the people that are the easiest to get off the street, which are people who've just fallen on financial hard times, then go to people with mental health issues, then drug issues. What about implementing plans like that all over the country?
Yeah, data analytics would be fantastic. Unfortunately, there's a dearth of it in all of these compassionate approaches, because the real truth is that compassion can be cruel. That's what we're seeing at the southern border. That's what we're seeing here. So the amount of investment, the $200 million in San Diego, $1 billion in Seattle over the last 10 years.
Wow.
They just recently proposed a $12 billion budget. For context, Seattle Public Schools gets $1.14 billion. That's the priority, because everyone has these competing compassionate approaches. No. This is going to be the most helpful, the kindest, the kid gloves. If you raise a child like that, if you raise them without boundaries, without any type of firmness, of course that will just exacerbate the problem. We are skyrocketing our taxpayer dollars into a problem that is skyrocketing. So clearly that approach is not working. I saw it in Seattle all the time, homeowners erecting their own really expensive fences to have some type of boundary next to the encampment. So they're paying taxes twice. Why are we paying taxes? We are the local, really it's the local and the state governments have abdicated their duty 100% to protect the citizens and to protect your property values and any chance of you pursuing your happiness, because they are prioritizing the homeless.
Jesse, make your mom proud.
Oh, that's not happening. You have to ask a liberal. Well, we happen to have one here. Is your goal to reduce homelessness, or is your goal to spend money on homelessness? Because you're spending money on homelessness and you're not reducing it. We can feel, you can feel, you want to medal for feeling. Okay, Greg's right. We can feel bad, and then we can study the problem, we can understand the problem, and we can take action. And you're not taking any action. You're subsidizing homelessness, and homelessness is increasing. What do you think happens when you let people sleep on the street in tents that cost $300 from REI? When you give them drugs, when you don't criminalize anything that they do, you're going to encourage more homelessness. Well, there's a story we did last night on Primetime in Portland. Portland spent $50 million to build the homeless a village. Now, it cost about $500,000 to build the village. They stole $49 million. So they're stealing the money, calling themselves compassionate, and increasing homelessness. It's a scam. You know it. I know it. Even my mother knows it.
That's amazing. So this whole homeless activism thing is a criminal enterprise.
The nonprofits are raking it in.
Yeah.
Follow the money, Jesse. Keep on that.
The Biden family and anyone who cares about homeless people.